Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Data Playbook. We're through all the Sunday games now, and all we have left is Sunday Night Football for Week 16, so let's get right into it. Getting into the Sunday night data, you have New England at Baltimore, where Baltimore is favored on the money line, with a spread of 3 points, and a total line of 48.5. Here's your seasonal averages. And going through the rankings, starting with New England, you have a pretty good offense, with a scoring rank of 7, a passing rank of 6, a rushing rank of 9, a tight end rank of 8. Defensively, they're also pretty good, with an allowed scoring rank of 6, allowed passing rank of 15, allowed rushing rank of 8, and then their worst ranking with the allowed tight end rank at 25. For Baltimore, you have a bit more of a mixed offense, with a scoring rank of 15, a passing rank of 24, a rushing rank of 2, and then a tight end rank of 16. Defensively, it's a little bit below average, with an allowed scoring rank of 16, allowed passing rank of 27, allowed rushing rank of 16, and allowed tight end rank of 13. Your quarterbacks in this game are Drake May and Lamar Jackson, with Drake May averaging about 20 fantasy points per game, and Lamar Jackson about 17.2. Flipping over to their seasonal averages, and looking at their turnovers, you have Drake May with 7 interceptions this season, and 2 fumbles lost due to sacks, and Lamar Jackson has had 6 interceptions this season, with 3 fumbles lost due to sacks. Looking at how they impact the rushing game for their teams, you have Drake May at 22.2% of the rushing carry share, and 21.5% of the rushing yard share, and then Lamar Jackson at 16.7% of the rushing carry share and 17.2% of the rushing yard share. For your running backs in this game, you have Travion Henderson and Derrick Henry, with Henderson averaging 12.7 fantasy points per game and Henry at 14.2. Here's their seasonal averages, and they both have turnovers, with Henderson having 1 rushing fumble this season and Henry with 2 rushing fumbles. Looking at their share, you have Henderson at 37.3% of the rushing carry share and 45.8% of the rushing yard share. That's mostly because him and Stevenson have been switching off this year. So now you have Stevenson with a little bit lower amount, as Henderson's taking more of the share. And then the next largest share really either comes from Ramondre Stevenson or Drake May. But on Baltimore, you get Derrick Henry with 63.8% of the rushing carry share and 58.1% of the rushing yard share, with the next largest chunk coming from either Lamar Jackson or Keaton Mitchell. Your 2 number 1 receivers are Stephon Diggs and Zay Flowers, with Diggs averaging 11.3 fantasy points per game and Zay Flowers at 12.8. Looking at their averages, and the only ones with turnovers, and the only turnovers come from Zay Flowers, with 2 receiving fumbles this season. And then looking at their share, you have Diggs at 22% of the target share and 21.4% of the receiving yard share, which does make him the most productive receiver in New England. And then for Zay Flowers, he also is the largest share, but much larger at 32.9% of the target share and 40.1% of the receiving yard share. Your number 2 receivers are Kayshon Boutte and Rashad Bateman, with Boutte averaging about 9.8 fantasy points per game, and Bateman averaging about 4.9 points. Here's their averages for the season, and with no turnovers, we'll go right to their charts. So if you need anything, go ahead and give the video a pause. But otherwise, you have Boutte at 10.4% of the target share and 15% of the receiving yard share, and then Bateman at 11.5% of the target share and 9.1% of the receiving yard share. Wrapping up with the tight ends, you have Hunter Henry and Mark Andrews, with Henry averaging about 9.9 fantasy points per game and Andrews averaging about 8.3. Once again, switching over their averages, and with no turnovers, we'll go right to their charts, where you have Hunter Henry at 19.1% of the target share and 18.4% of the receiving yard share, and then Mark Andrews at 19.7% of the target share and 15% of the receiving yard share, making him the second most productive receiver in Baltimore. So that concludes all your data in this game. So it's interesting which way the money line's leaning on this one. In almost every category, New England's ranking beats Baltimore's ranking, except for Baltimore's rushing rank of 2, going against New England's allowed rushing rank of 8, which is still a pretty good allowed rushing rank in the end. And other than that, it's the tight end rank at 16 against the allowed tight end rank at 25 here for New England. But every other stat matchup, New England wins. So really just based on that and numbers, I would lean towards New England actually winning this game. But maybe there's quite an advantage where Baltimore's at home. So I guess we'll just have to see how it all plays out. And there you have your pregame review for Sunday Night Football. I hope that you enjoyed and got something out of it. And if you did, leave a like and subscribe. And leave a comment on what other data you want to see in the future. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you for Monday Night Football.